Hello, you guys. Welcome back. My name is Ashley Miller, and this is episode 3 to my brand new podcast, Bridging the Gap. Just to kind of, refresh for anyone that is new here. Hopefully, you have listened to episode 1 and 2 because I think it would make a lot more sense to you if you did. But in case not, the whole concept of this podcast is to help anyone out there navigate their own journey of getting from point A to point B in their lives. You're not your old self anymore, but you're not quite your new self either. There's a little bit of confusion and you're stuck in the in-between trying to navigate how it is you're supposed to get there and doing all the work in the in-between too to become that next best version of yourself that's capable of handling it too. So with that said, today I think is going to be very real and raw for me because I actually had no intention of filming. I filmed episode 2 last night, and normally every time I post a podcast, I'm growing internally, healing, whatever you call it. And so anyways, old Ashley would probably wait a week, 2 weeks to film, waiting to figure out maybe what I'm supposed to talk about or just in general pushing things off. I've had a really big issue in my life when it comes to procrastination. I struggle really bad with ADHD, and I don't know if any of you out there have ever heard of task paralysis, but that is a very real thing, and it is something I've had to battle a lot with. Essentially what that is, it's kind of like your internal body feeling the feeling of fight or flight when you have a task to do. So it's like when you have a ton of tasks all at once you need to do and it's not quite organized, and maybe you have a time frame you have to get things done by, you kind of just freeze. You're paralyzed in this state of frustration and you just kind of shut down. And I have, struggled a lot with that in my life, but I think that's why it's so important for me to film this episode today, because I was driving myself freaking nuts today, if I'm going to be honest with you. After I filmed last night, I stayed up till like 5 a.m. pacing in my apartment, trying to think of new content ideas to post on social media. Because as you guys know, my main source of income is personal training, nutrition, online coaching. And it can be tough balancing all these different ideas that I have going on in my brain with what I'm focused on with this, and still trying to come up with content I'm supposed to put online. But I've been learning a lot in my life that I think especially right now, I'm being slowed down to move more in alignment instead of adrenaline, because my fear mentality will come in where I think that I have to only post about fitness, PCOS, nutrition in order to get clients, and I have to consistently post or else I won't make any money. And like those fears come in. But I normally would be making like workout videos and stuff right now. I got injured over the weekend. I strained my groin muscle. How does one even do that? I don't even know what I did. I woke up after a night out and could barely walk. Like right now, if I turn in bed, I'm this close to like popping something. So I know that right now I truly firmly believe you can call me crazy because you're like, oh, everything is a sign. Yes, actually right now in my life, everything is a sign. Thank you. I know when I get slowed down like this, it's for a reason, because normally, if I wasn't injured, I'd be like, oh, well, I need to go film this for content and I need to just do this, this, and this, so that way I can get clients and I can survive and blah, blah, blah. I truly believe God wants me to really focus on this because, like going back to my story of last night of pacing around in my house, trying to think of content ideas to film today, I'm just drawing a blank. And I've really learned this year that if I'm not getting any ideas of what to film, it's for a reason, because I'm supposed to be doing something else. And so all day today, I was like praying. I'm like, God, I need your help. Like, what am I supposed to film? I need to post something, but nothing is coming to my mind. And it's just like a repeated cycle. And then I am like talking to myself too, right? Besides needing content ideas to film, I'm like, I don't know what to do, even though there's actually like a list of things I know that I actually should be doing on the side, but I'm putting it off. And I just like recognize that sometimes, I think, not even sometimes, I feel like right now, how I have like this time to film and do this, it's almost like my nervous system feels weird when I have time, or it's not like the best way I can describe it is like when your nervous system is so used to chaos, it feels comfortable in chaos. So when things are calm, you feel like something's wrong. And it's almost like I will come in and self sabotage in a sense. Like me me doing this is me moving into a new chapter of my life, a new series, as we should call it, honestly, not even a new book, a new series. And so doing this requires me to move differently, to think differently, to get things done in an accurate time frame so that way I can actually get to where I want to be in a timely manner instead of pushing things off for far longer than it should be, and which is something I've done a lot in my life. I will become complacent or stagnant. I'll get scared and I'll fall back into old habits and I'll drop the ball while I have momentum. And you don't really want to do that. But my nervous system, it's like my nervous system is being retrained right now to accept the fact that things don't have to be hard for things to work, right? Like I don't have to be struggling. I don't have to hit a wall. I don't have to have a tragedy happen in my life for me to be like, oh, okay, I should probably record so I can do this. Like, I hope I'm making sense right now because I feel like there's a couple different directions I want to take this topic in because I really do feel like a lot of things in my life I've learned the hard way and the long way because I've waited so long to do things that God, the universe, whatever you believe in, will come in and have something abrupt happen in my life or something scary for me to wake up and do something about it, which is what I talked about in the last episode. But also with this, it's like I recognize today I will self sabotage and repeat some of the toxic things that keep me in that old identity instead of doing the things that I know that I'm capable of doing to get to my new identity, right? And I think we can all relate to how frustrating of a feeling it is when you know what you kind of have to do to get somewhere. You have this task, but you won't do it. You can't get yourself to do it. It's just like there's something in you pulling you down. It's like your old identity just keeping you stuck in that same place. You can relate this to someone that's like, oh, I know I need to go to the gym, but I'm just not doing it. Or I know I need a meal prep, but I'm just not doing it. Or whatever the case may be. And for me, it's like the most simple tasks, the most simple freaking things. And, I'm trying to retrain my nervous system and show my nervous system a new outcome, which is why I'm recording today because normally I would push this off. I got the idea today where I'm just like, I keep thinking about some like what I need to film, but I need to acknowledge the fact that this problem I'm experiencing right now is something I need to talk about because it's something that's held me back for so long. And I know that so many other people out there can relate to this because we can be our own worst enemy. And these thoughts and these limiting beliefs will come in and get you, and your old toxic habits that feel comfortable will keep you there. And to be super transparent, I had a million and one fears flying through my head last night that adds to the self-sabotage. It goes with what I was saying about being that person that's capable of handling the things when you have it. Like, right, for me, everything that I envision for myself, I would hope to God I am better with money when this pops off because look, I'll be real with you. I have not always been the best with money in my life, and that has been a big learning lesson for me this year. And I know that that creates an insecurity inside of me of like, am I capable of handling this? Like I need to do better. I need to change the narrative and choose different than what I have. Like I have to take the initiative and spend more wisely than maybe I would have in the past. And also this fear of, is this really going to work? Am I going to have all the ideas for content to put this out there, to market it to where people want to listen? Just everything you think of in terms of fears, I was thinking about. And those can be what self-sabotage any normal human being, because you think maybe you're not good enough or you're not ready or whatever. And I think talking about this is very healing for me, because I'm acknowledging, I'm being transparent with myself. I'm being transparent with God, with, my faults. And I know the areas of which I want to be better in and I want to work on. This is a part of my own journey of bridging my own gap, because I do want to be this person that is readily equipped. I want to do things on time without feeling like fight or flight. I can just do tasks because it's easy and it's normal. I don't have to have something tragic happen in order for me to get things done, and I am just smart with my money, and I'm confident with my capabilities that I'll get my ideas when I'm meant to get them, because I've literally lived that. I know that when I'm meant to do something, just like today, having this idea of filming this, when I'm meant to do something, I'll know it. Always. God always pulls through and shows me and helps me. And, I will say this, a lot of the times the answers are also inside of you. I feel like I get stuck in this position where I'm seeking answers outside of myself, and a lot of it is within you. It really takes being super transparent with yourself and acknowledging, like, I feel like self-sabotage is such a broad term, and it's obviously super negative, but people don't always want to think that, like, oh, I'm self-sabotaging, when a lot of the times we don't even realize subconsciously we are self-sabotaging. And me putting things off out of uncomfortability or just not being used to it is wild. Like, it's really wild. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. I feel like I had that today, where I'm like, I'm self-sabotaging. That's what we're doing here. And I don't want to do that anymore. This is me choosing different. I don't want to self-sabotage. I don't want to put things off. I want my body to accept that things really can be easy. And I want to show my nervous system that I can handle money better, and that I can just do all the things that I really firmly believe in myself that I can do. And so, yeah, I just think that this was a really important topic to discuss, because I know so many people out there struggle with this same thing. And the only way to combat that is by choosing different. It's acknowledging that there's a problem. It's acknowledging that there's an issue, maybe journaling, writing it out, asking yourself why you do this. But my biggest advice here, don't get stuck on the why, because, you can ask yourself all day long, why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? It's okay if you figure out the answer, but move past that and put forward action, because that's a part of healing. That's a part of rewiring your brain and changing your nervous system, helping that, change the narrative, is by showing yourself a different outcome. I am making a promise to myself that when I have these ideas, I'm acting on it. When I know I have a task to do, I'll do it. And I also got that blackboard simply because of that too, because it can lay it out in a more organized way for my brain to process it and not look at it as, this overwhelming thing, because it's really not. It's really not. It's so funny. I end up talking to myself and I'm like, it really is not that hard. It is very simple, actually, because it is. And especially if it's something that, like, it's on a regular day-to-day basis task, it's really not that hard. You're just making it out to be bigger than what it actually is. But yeah, I feel like I rambled a lot today, but I know someone out there can relate to this and the chaoticness I have in my brain. If you don't have ADHD, this is what it feels like, looks like. You can see kind of all of the chaoticness within this discussion, but it's real. This is what I lived through, but I'm working on it and I'm balancing it and I'm healing through it all. And I'd rather document it and show you guys it in real time. This is me bridging my own gap. I'm doing it with you, not this perfect person coming on here and telling you how to do it because I've fully done it myself. No. I'm doing it too. So yeah, well, alrighty guys, thank you so much for joining me today on this little quick chaotic session. But just know that we don't have to be stuck there. Maybe we were once our own worst enemy. We don't have to be. We can be our own best friend and we can change the narrative. We can choose different. We can pivot and work through some of the things that would hold us back and change our life. That's the whole point of this at the end of the day. It's how we step into that new role, that new identity. Believe in yourself, trust yourself, because that's also a big part of loving yourself too, is trusting yourself. When you say you're going to do all these things and then you don't do them, you don't really trust yourself. But when you start to actually follow through with the things you say you're going to do, even the most simple tasks, that's how you start to trust yourself more and more and more. And then you start to believe that you're capable of doing more and more things. You're loving yourself into your new self, because you can't hate yourself into a new person. I'll tell you that right now. But yeah, guys, thank you guys so much for joining me today. And I am loving this. This is so much fun for me. I can't wait for the next episode and what my brain comes up with next. But yeah, see ya.